morning, everyone. This is Osiris from the Cover City News, Unk Entertainment, Stones in the Color of Rare blog, and your weekly show host for 15 minutes of show. Guess what? I am at the cool Redbury Hotel. I don't know if you've ever been in here, but I am here today. I've never been inside here, but because our guest today, Natalie Irish, famous painter, and the girl is bad. She paints with her lips. I'm sure that most of you think that lips are only made to be kissed with. She does a whole lot of that and more. She not only kisses, she kisses a canvas with different pressures that allow her to create these amazing images on canvas. So say hi, Natalie.
Hello.
Say, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Now, Natalie had to work the MTV VMA Awards show last night, right?
Yes, hence the swollen, messy face.
Oh my gosh, so she had to like use her lips for 4 hours, she said. How was that experience? I mean, how do you use your lips to kiss and all the other things that people do with their mouths to just paint for 4 hours?
Lots of practice. Well, I don't usually work for that many hours straight. I did take frequent breaks. On average, maybe a 24 by 36 painting, looking at 2 to 3 weeks, because I have to take frequent breaks. My eyes get tired.
My
mouth gets tired. I always say the only thing that helps with the pain is an ice cold beer and the swelling.
How do you keep the swelling down?
Ice. And some of it I just know that I'm gonna get a little swollen, especially, you know, the next day after painting a long session. For an hour after I wake up from laying down, I just have these beautiful injected looking lips.
That's what I say. You got the natural puff going. You don't have to get the surgery. Anyway, so how I was studying your bio, and I know that you're from Houston, Texas.
Yes.
Yay, Texas people are the coolest in the world. I also know that you got the idea about painting with your lips from doing seeing thumbprints or something in an art class.
Yes, I have tried every medium I could ever get my hands on since I could hold a crayon.
Yeah.
Just all different sorts of art. It's all creating to me. And I learned a technique in high school that Chuck Close and a bunch of other artists had done before with ink pads and thumbprints.
Yeah.
The spirit of pointillism. And I had tried that, and I was like, wow, I love using things in ways that they're not intended.
Exactly.
In my sculptures, in textiles, and back in 2001, I put on some red lipstick to go to a show and blotted it on a piece of paper and said, I saw that mark. I was like, I can use that in the same idea.
Yeah.
And it's all the same concepts of shading and composition and that you use in painting and drawing. It's just working within this medium. And that, I think, was part of the excitement, was just discovering. I couldn't Google it, you know.
No.
I couldn't look it up and figure out what surfaces, what kind of materials to use, what kind of shapes I could make. So it was just, that was in 2001, and I'm still finding new ways of painting with lipstick in my mouth. So it's just.
I just think that is the off the his eye, as they would say.
Well, thank you.
I love the blue hair, and I love the whole look today. You guys, if you were here, she looks adorable. She looks so much like a lip artist. It's so cute. Anyway, but now let's talk a little bit more about your technique. Now, I know one thing I like what you do with your lips is that it can't be faked. You can't fake putting an impression with your lips. Whereas with painting in some situations, people don't have to do as much. You know, now they've got tutorials. They've got things aren't so hard anymore, and people can just take a blob of paint and put it on something and say, oh, that's an abstract or whatever. But when you're doing something with your lips and you have to place your lips in a certain angle or a certain pressure,
right?
What kind of frame of mind are you in? Are you thinking about anything? Are you listening to music? Watching the turtles float by, watching the clouds in the sky? What happens when you...
I usually work at home at my studio. I mean, I have a drafting table and an easel in every room of our home.
Oh, wow.
And we're kind of out in the country a little bit, got a bunch of animals around. I usually have music on, or a documentary, something that I can listen to.
Something that's inspirational, get you in the mood.
Yeah, I mean, music, one day it'll be K.I.S.S.I.N.G, and the next it'll be Chopin and Bad Religion and Motown, everything in between. Just whatever the mood is. Sometimes the painting, if it's a portrait of a musician, I'm going to listen to their music. Or I remember I watched a bunch of documentaries when I did a portrait of Geronimo a couple years ago, and afterwards I was like, just the lines in his face.
Yeah.
And kissing somebody's face is such an intimate process. And I was listening to these stories of his life, and afterwards I was like, man, I need to paint a picture of a dang clown or something. I'm depressed. It's just so so intense.
I understand. Now, how do you select the people or the images or whatever flows through you, as they say? How do you select that? Or sometimes the images just come to your mind, or are you looking at an image, or you have an image in mind before you start painting?
I don't have a photographic memory, so I usually, if I'm doing somebody that's a celebrity or somebody that's well known, it has to be recognizable. So I'll take images of them and sketch my own versions and do my own interpretation and use that as a reference to the picture. But like I said, it's an intimate process. So in the beginning, it was a lot of people that kind of led tragic lives and had dramatic stories. Kurt Cobain, Jimi Hendrix, Marilyn Monroe. Those are also just some of the pop icons, but lately I've really been trying to do a little bit more mixed media, incorporate acrylic painting and drawing and people that inspire me.
With your lips too?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well, I only am using the lipstick on my lips, but using hand drawing and painting.
Oh, in between.
Right. Yeah, just kind of doing more mixed media because I don't want to get in a rut of just painting just faces. I make a lot of my own lipstick. I'm using a lot of different colors that aren't natural.
Oh my gosh. Colors. What do you use for this? Is it like MAC, where it's like Indian war paint? Because I love MAC because it's like war paint.
I use all different kinds.
Are you kidding?
The stay-on stuff doesn't really work because it needs to be able to come off. I want something that has a lot of pigment, but sometimes I'll mix in more of like sheer products to make like the lighter colors and to get the layering. It just kind of depends on what I want to do. Right now, I think one of the most fun I had on a piece recently was I did a portrait of Kurt Vonnegut, and I used green shades, which not a typical lipstick color. I used a lot of like theatrical makeup.
Yes,
it's the same.
There you go.
The same formula, but I have more colors to play with.
Yes, you do.
And I really need that kind of texture to have the lip marks and to use it on my mouth. And I don't want to put paint on my mouth. But
yeah, because it would bother. I think it would affect your lips or something. Might infect them or get a rash.
Right. I don't want to eat that. I'm trying not to eat this stuff, but I'm sure I get a little bit in there. But the Vonnegut painting was so much fun because it's somebody that inspires me a lot. Just reading his books even if it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm painting at the time. It's just so creative, and he has that mustache and those bushy eyebrows, and so I had all these really exciting shapes, and it was a challenge of just getting in there and.
Twisting that mouth up.
It is not a pretty process, I'll tell you that. It is very unflattering. I get it all over my face.
She's a lip vocalist, you guys. You know, vocalists twist and turn their mouth when they have to go in all those straightened up. That's what she does with her lips when she's painting. Are you under contract with CoverGirl, may I ask? Or are you free? Are you an independent artist? You're free to do any of the other lip lines?
Yes, I have worked with several different companies. But the past few years, I did a lot of work all over the country with charities and stuff. But yeah, this CoverGirl project is what I used all their products for this. Wow. And lots of pigments. That's why I was excited with the piece that I did.
Even more than MAC and some of the other CoverGirl has it. You guys, are you listening to CoverGirl users? They have more of a color line than MAC does.
Each brand within their lines has a variety, because sometimes you want kind of the sheer, shimmery, sometimes you want the stay-on stuff, sometimes you want pigment. Within all the different brands, you get a lot of variety. What I liked about the CoverGirl is there's a particular kind of an orangey gold colors that they have.
Yeah, my kind of color.
Yeah, these peachy oranges that I was able to incorporate that are kind of hard to find. And so that was a lot of bright, and since it was MTV, a bunch of like neon colors.
Yes.
And so it worked out.
Something exciting.
Well. Yeah.
So what do you? I know you've been doing this since like high school or something, right?
2001, right after I graduated.
Okay, right after high school. So you're like a pro, and just if you guys have never heard of Natalie Irish, please look up www.Natalie, N-A-T-H-A-L-I-E.
N-A-T-A-L-I-E.
Okay, so it's N-A-T-A-L-I-E, and then it's Irish, I-R-I-S-H.
Yep, Irish.
Irish.com, and you will see some amazing stuff. So now that you're like a pro and you're a big star in the world of lip painting and being an artist, what are you going to be doing? Like, what can we expect from those pair of lips in the future? Have you ever tried to paint a human body with your lips?
I've had a lot of strangers offer.
I'm sure they'd be willing to lie down, like, sure.
You've got to have a bit of a sense of humor if you're going to make out with canvas for a living.
Hey, but there are no contracts involved. You don't have to worry. They won't come and get you the next day. You don't have to go out drinking and be obliged at all.
Right. Just have to deal with the husband. Right?
By the way, speaking of your husband, now your husband, his name is Dennis.
Dennis, yes.
And Dennis, they are both from Texas. So all you Texas people, yay, we get carbon.
Houston
in the house. But anyway, her husband is actually functional. He's not just a husband. He works with her. He plays with her. He gets her lipstick and he does whatever she needs him to do. So how does that play out with you guys being in a relationship?
That man knows more about lipstick than most of my drag queen friends. Okay, I mean he's always gonna be like, hey, did you hear so and so came out with a new product? And it's fantastic. But I mean I'm not a business person, and
you're the artist.
The idea of art, you know, being a business and marketing and contracts and all that, I paint. So he gets to do all the other fun stuff.
And can you believe that there's
amazing photographer too, and he does a lot of G-clay printing for me.
Whoa!
Yeah,
so I mean, does Dennis have any kind of work that we can go find, or is it something?
Actually, a lot of. If you ever buy any of my G-clays, he photographed and printed the fully archival G-clay prints.
Now, explain what a G-clay print is.
G-clay is a high quality archival paper archival ink. I usually do limited signed and numbered series of either G-clays or screen prints. I have a great guy in Houston, Isaac at Lady Lazarus, and he is an artist, and it's screen printing, wow. But I like to do the limited edition series, so hopefully I'll be getting back into that soon.
That's something you like. I can tell your little face lit up.
When I was in school, and I mean, heck, even now I see artists and I'm just like, oh, I love that piece, but you know, it's not always in the budget to buy an original.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
if you do a screen print or a G-clay and you do it signed and numbered, it's still limited, it's still special, it's still a work of art, but it's something that's within more people's price range, I think, and I like for it to be accessible to everyone. And
do you have like a limited amount of them that you do? Like you only do 10? Like even when you do your lip painting on your canvas, do you have a limited amount that you do before you take a break and then just say, this is going to be the collection right now, and then I'm going to work on something else in the next month?
Yeah, it usually depends on the project, but yes, I like to do, like with the screen prints, I'll do even a series of 100, and then maybe I'll do a variant on a different colored paper of maybe 10, and maybe 2 or 3 on a foil or some wood, or you know, just kind of experimenting. It's a whole nother layer to the art. You do a painting and then you have all the different options of printmaking with it. So
how now, Dennis, that sounds interesting that he does the G-clay, G-C-L-A-Y?
G-I-C-L-E-E.
Okay, I'm glad you spelled it because it's
French.
G-clay, it is French.
To squirt, because the ink is squirted onto
the paper.
Onto the paper, yeah.
Is that different than the throwing onto the paper that Jackson Pollock was famous for? Or because you said squirting, he threw the paint.
It's just the way that the machine actually, like an inkjet.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like the inkjet is just fully archival. Like if you, if you go to MoMA, they've got G-clays or the reproductions, the high quality reproductions that are fully archival and last 100 years. So
now how does Dennis develop his career along with yours? Are you guys doing these things like intertwined, or are there two separate, like you can see Natalie this night and then the next night you can see Dennis, or do you do them both in the same time?
It's definitely a team. I mean, if either one of us
I love that you're a team and that you have a person in this life to walk with.
Very, very
fortunate young lady.
Well, it's fun. Apparently a lot of people couldn't work with their spouses, but it's great with us because we just enjoy the heck out of each other's company, and we like
you have to like each other, and you have to like each other as a person.
Exactly, and we push each other too, because when we first got together, I was doing these paintings and just putting them in a closet because I was like, I'm working on the art. I don't even know how to get stuff out there. I don't even know where to start. And he has the marketing mind, and then you know, has always been into photography and started getting into printing. And you know, we just kind of rolled together.
You just kind of start rolling, and there you are. You have Natalie Irish in the flesh. So now, are you guys planning on doing any projects together for your future shows, or is still going to be Natalie Irish and not so much integrating his photography?
We've actually been talking about, there's a kind of a gallery series that I'm thinking about working on. It's kind of in the early stages, incorporating photographs, because I have in the past used photographs that he's taken to use as references for the paintings. It's just another layer of art thrown in there. And so I think it would be really nice to do a display, a gallery show with photographs and paintings together, and who knows, maybe some kind of collage work.
I would love that. I'd love to see you guys really do. I like couples that do these dynamic things, because like, yes, they're on their earth for a mission. You know, they have a mission on this earth.
We just sit in our little house out in the country with our cats and our dog, and paint and take pictures and get all excited about finding new artists in the internet and magazines, and watch our documentaries, and it's just art and music and all rolled up in a nice
little ball. There should be a documentary on lip painting, because to me it was more unique than any other painting style I'd ever heard of. I couldn't believe it when Joyce Wetzel, by the way, is a very wonderful person. Any of you that might know her. I'm telling you, the girl is a heroine. She should be on the next Marvel comic film.
That is a hard-working, hustling
She's a hard-working woman.
Heck yeah.
She got us together, and we had to go through everything just to get to the Redbury to talk to Natalie. So Natalie, now I want to ask you, when you're using your different colors, what is the time of space between the time you use one color and you change to another?
That is something I've actually kind of struggled with. The lip painting does have a lot of limitations to it.
Like what?
Like the fact that the hardest part is switching those colors, because removing any kind of makeup is the harshest thing to do to my lips. I've used all different kinds of makeup removers, baby oils, different products and wipes, and it's just irritating to my mouth, to something that's already sore, to remove that. So it's really just a lot of kind of planning the composition of, all right, I'm going to go in with this purple and do about as much of this purple that I can before I have to switch to the red. And now I have somewhere I'm kind of smearing and blending, and a lot of that is also just the surface preparation. A lot of sanding and layers of gesso so I can get it nice and smooth and almost kind of a bit of a gloss finish, so that I can, you know, not sandpaper my lips off. But that's still part of the process, is learning and experimenting with it.
I just love the whole process. I know you guys got to go. They've got a plane to catch audience out there, and we're going to let them go. But again, thank you so much, Natalie, for your time. I'm so glad I finally got to meet you. Yay!
Me too.
We've been talking about interviewing you for the past year, Joyce and I. She's like, okay, I'm like, when is she going to be in LA? When is she going to? And when you were here, I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm so glad we made it.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing to see you. Now, again, we're going to say, do you have a Twitter, Facebook? Shout it out so that people can know where to find you and your work.
All the links are at natalieirish.com.
Okay.
They're all kind of different variations of Natalie Irish and art.
And when can we expect to see you? Where is your next destination in this world?
Oh, I'm going back home. My cats miss me, and there's paintings that need kissing.
So Texas, she's coming back home, but don't expect to hold on to her for long. She does travel quite a bit. Thank you so much again. Have a wonderful trip back home. We love you and your lips. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And kisses to you and Dennis. And that's a wrap. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.